My name is Heather Garrison. I've been a firefighter a year. This may not look like work for a firefighter, but cleaning windows is part of my job. It's work we all share here at the fire station while we wait for a fire alarm or an emergency. No one is born a firefighter. It's a skill you have to want to learn. I learned to be a firefighter by first going to a school run by the fire department. They call it a fire academy. It's a hard school to get into, and they give you a lot of reasons to quit. I almost quit the first day of training. You see, we were learning about fire, how fire starts, how quickly it can spread through a building. Afterward, we saw a film on firefighting. Wondered if maybe I'd made a mistake. I'd never been close to a fire. I mean a real fire. Fighters in the film with only a hose and an axe. When the time came, would I risk my life to save another? I asked myself, is this really what you want? To me, there was a lot more to learn than just how to put out a fire. We learned that our city is protected from fire by a network of fire stations, all linked to a central communications center. When a call for help is received, a fire company, an ambulance, or both are quickly sent to the emergency. We learned about fire codes and fire prevention, about hydrants and sprinklers, how to match the right hose to the right nozzle to use on the right fire. Not all fires can be put out with just water. To put out this oil fire, firefighters use a mixture of chemicals and water. We learned how to wear the boots, the coat, the helmet that protects us from heat, flame, water, and falling debris, and to wear the air mask that lets us breathe in a smoke-filled building. We learned to use all the special equipment carried on a fire truck, and that each fire truck has a special purpose. This truck is used by the rescue squad. This is a ladder truck. And this truck is really two trucks in one. It can pump water through a hose or through these water cannons. So it's a pumper truck. And it carries ladders. So it's a ladder truck too. This ladder reaches up to 100 feet. How would you like to have to climb that ladder to the top of a burning building to rescue someone? Because a lot of fires happen at night, our truck is painted yellow. Yellow's easier to see at night than the color red. Our lights can help us fight a fire at night too, or light up the scene of an emergency. As firefighters, we have to be ready for any emergency. So in these compartments, we carry many kinds of tools: cutting tools, chopping tools, tearing tools, mending tools. Mending tools because all firefighters learn to give medical aid in an emergency. Later, we would have the opportunity to train to be paramedics. As a paramedic, we would be assigned to the emergency rescue and ambulance service our fire department provides for our community. But the most important thing we learned in becoming firefighters is that you can't fight a fire alone. It takes teamwork. Teamwork to handle a high-pressure water hose. Teamwork to carry a smoke victim out of a burning building. It was teamwork we learned and teamwork we practiced. Because in a real emergency, our lives and lives of others would depend on it. I used to think that all a firefighter did at a fire station was polish the truck and sit around waiting for a fire alarm. But I learned that isn't so. We have a set routine we follow every day we report for duty. First, we check over our truck and all of its equipment. We store the boots, coats, and helmets belonging to the men going off duty in our locker room and set our boots and put our heavy coats and helmets aboard the truck. Everything must be ready for the alarm. And some days we do polish the truck because that's part of our work too. We spend a full day, 24 hours, on duty at the fire station. That earns us 2 days off duty. We think of the fire station as a second home, so we take time to keep it clean and orderly. We even take turns cooking lunch or dinner. After lunch, there's time to cut the grass. And we always schedule time to train with some piece of equipment, like practicing to lower the aerial ladder gently onto the top of a roof. By evening, even if we haven't gone out on a single fire or emergency call, we've earned our few hours of rest and relaxation. We watch TV, read, study for promotions, practice the guitar, whatever we like. But day or night, we must always be ready for the alarm. As firefighters, we spend a lot of our time trying to prevent fires. When we meet people in our community, we show films, answer questions, and give out free information on fire prevention and fire protection. We conduct inspections of buildings to see if they're safe from fire hazards. And we visit schools to conduct fire drills and to tell children about the dangers of playing with fire. It would be great if we could prevent all fires, but we can't, so firefighters will always be needed. I guess no firefighter ever forgets the first real fire they fight. I know I haven't. It was a hot summer day. My second duty day at Station 6. We were in the kitchen on break. Martin and Charlie, Wayne, Don, our driver, and I, when the alarm went off.
Attention, District 1, Station 6, Engine 1, Squad 2, 122 Burbank Street, house fire.
It was a house fire at 122 Burbank Street. We were the closest fire station to that house, so we got the call. We were aboard our truck and out of the station within a minute. Engine Company 1 and Rescue Squad 2 were also on their way. And across town, the District 1 fire chief had been alerted. To save life and property, it was important that we get to the fire as quickly as possible. Speed was important, but so was safety. Don, our driver, knew the fastest and the safest route to that house, and the people on the street helped us a lot by giving us the right of way. It could have been a false alarm. A false alarm is just as costly and just as dangerous as a real emergency. But this was no false alarm. This was a fire. The fire was upstairs in a rear kitchen. Luckily, everyone was out of the house. If I had any fear of fire, I just pushed the fear aside. Getting the fire under control and put out, saving this family's house, that was the important thing. When the District 1 fire chief arrived, he was pleased to learn that with the help of Engine Company 1 and Rescue Squad 2, we had the fire under control. In a few minutes, it would be completely out. It was really hot that day, so as soon as it was safe, we took off our air tanks and heavy coats. It didn't make our work any easier, but it sure made it a lot cooler. To the crowd of neighbors who'd gathered, our work looked pretty confusing. There was hose laid everywhere, water running like little rivers, and I was on the roof with Charlie and others chopping a hole. There was just no time for explanations. The fire had spread under the roof. The only way to get at the still smoldering embers and to let out the smoke and the heat was to chop a hole in the roof. If we didn't put those embers out, the fire would have just started up again. Then someone might really have been hurt. Our work didn't end when we put the fire out. A fire leaves a dirty, wet, sloppy mess. A lot of precious belongings get destroyed or damaged in a fire, even a small fire like this one. Sometimes you can't replace them. The best we could do for that family was to save what could be saved, clean up the mess, and patch the holes. Finally, I had a chance to take a break, to sit on the porch with Martin, Charlie, Don, and the others. I suddenly felt very tired, but I was happy, too. I had helped save a house and a home. I was proud of that. I was glad I hadn't quit the fire academy when it had been so easy to quit. I knew then that firefighting was the right job for me. There were still hours of work ahead of us back at the station, offloading the used hose, checking it in, replacing it on the truck with new dry hose, getting ready for the next alarm. I didn't exactly look forward to that work, but I didn't mind it either. I was a firefighter, and that's the work firefighters do.